guys excited? Saturday night.
We got 2 mics.
Oh yeah, we're in trouble. 2 mics.
Yup.
All right.
You are in trouble. I'm here
Wow.
now, buddy.
Yes, you are. I'm not used to this. It's been 7 years by myself up here. She makes the stage look better, though. I agree with that.
I received that.
All right. All right. First thing I got on my notes is to laugh at all of Candace's jokes. So that's good. But thank you, Brian and Karen, for bringing us up. You know, we just couldn't be more excited to be here tonight on Saturday night. You guys, how awesome a Saturday night has this already been? Let me hear you. After us, we have the incredible Jake and Jackie Baker, which is, you know, I'm honored. I never take for granted being on that stage. You guys have to understand, you know, I got in business real quick. You know, we are Manny and Candace Winston. You know, I got started in business as a 19-year-old college kid, working 2 jobs about 60 hours a week. I was taking 16 credits while being in school, driving from Richmond to D.C. 3 to 4 days a week. And, you know, I decided, you know, to opt out of college when I hit the 7,500 point level because of the success in the business. You know, one of the reasons I was in college was just because I wanted to be successful. I learned that's what you do if you want to be successful. But then I learned through mentorship, I'm like, man, well, I'm over here, but I really learned how to create wealth in the Amway business. All right, so personally, I decided to opt out of school. And, you know, throughout building the business, I was a platinum for almost 3 years. And, you know, then Candace came along.
Yes, I did.
All right, and, you know, our story, you know, of meeting, a little different. I was doing some follow-ups in my downline, and, you know, one of the guys on my team, he was on my team. He's not here, but he has 40 people here, which is awesome. All right, that's what you do. You know, somebody quits, make sure they leave you depth. All right, but anyways, I remember doing follow-ups, and I had like 6 or 7 follow-ups back to back to back. And from what I know, now you want to tell this because they're not going to believe me, so I'll let you tell the truth about how we met.
The truth is that he was on my college campus doing follow-ups, and I just so happened to pass him about 4 times in one day.
Just so happened to.
On purpose. Huh?
Just so happens to,
Yeah,
right?
just so happens on purpose.
I call that stalking, all right?
I call that getting what you want.
Okay. That's fine. All right, so it's been cool because Candace's story is a little bit different. You know, she has a background in chemistry, and, you know, she saw the business a little bit different than, you know, a lot of you guys in here. You know, she went to her first info session because she was interested in me, not the business. All right, I don't blame her. All right. You know, this is what I knew. If I was going to be in the business, I was going to have somebody that wanted to chase my dreams and my legacy, build a legacy with me. That's what I knew. All right, and it took a little bit of time, but she started coming around the team a little bit more, and she came to a Christmas party, and, you know, the rest is history. You know, came to her first function like this, and 2.5 years later, 3 years later, she's officially a qualified platinum as a 24-year-old single woman. And throughout the process, you know, she was actually my 3rd leg for Emerald, and I was able to officially go Emerald single at the age of 25. All right, but it's been fun. It's been a whirlwind, you know, since we've gotten married. So she went platinum and I went Emerald on the 12th of June. We had a big attitude celebration on the 17th. All right, we got married on the 18th. All right, this is a week later, well, a day later, we were in Cancun for a week. All right, and this is actually now our 2nd time. We got to practice on the Ayers team. This is our 2nd time on stage together. Our first time, I didn't even say our vitals, right? I was like, I'm Manny Winston, and she was like, I'm Candace Lee, and we kept going back and forth. So we learned how to do it, all right? But we've been just getting used to really being married. You know, it's been really cool. You know, what I've learned throughout this process is Candace, although she, you know, she can cook, she just doesn't like to cook. All right, is that true?
Yes.
All right, so, and when it comes to cleaning, she doesn't like that either.
yeah, I just don't like that.
All right, so married life for us has been a little bit different. It's been, um, get somebody to cook for us, which is really cool because of the income that we have from this business. We have someone that's able to cook our meals for us throughout the week, and we don't clean our own house. All right, and that was surreal to me, even building the business when I first got into business. But, it's been awesome being able to build the business with a warrior chick, somebody that really didn't just want to be Manny Winston's wife. You see what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter to you if that's what you are. You get married and, you are in the business where you are. But, when she got into the business, she said, I want to make my own name for myself. She said, I want to create something for myself before we get married. And guys, you hear this all the time. You don't make winners, you find them. And I thank God every day that I found my winner in my wife. So with that, I'm going to let you guys hear from Candace.
Thank you, babe. That was perfect. We are getting this thing right. How's everybody doing? Oh man, well, we are so excited, not only just to be on the stage together to share with you guys, but just to be in this room with you guys. I remember 3 years ago walking into a room like this. This one's much bigger, which is good, a lot of growth. But I remember walking into a room like this, nervous. My heart was pumping. It was odd because everyone was happy. I was like, maybe that's the excess focus and energy double X cocktail that's creating a happy bomb or something. But but it wasn't that. I had walked into a room full of dreamers. And man, that's a good feeling. It is such a good feeling. Me coming to my first conference, it was a really weird experience. Y'all saw Jonathan Benjamin up on this stage earlier with his 310s and 625s. Yeah, he drove me to his first conference, and he had one person on his team at the time. And I was not very happy with him either on that car ride because he didn't have people skills yet. So I have the mic, JB, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I slept the whole ride here. He even turned the volume all the way up to 42 on the radio just to wake me up in the back seat. So we just have had a sister-brother competitive relationship. You hit me, I square up type of relationship for a while now. But, I'm thankful for him because he got me here. And I'm so proud of the Benjamin team's growth. But, it was weird walking into a room like this because I was in a room full of dreamers. And I didn't really have a dream per se when I walked into the room like this. I had the American dream. Climb the corporate ladder and, get the big fancy corporate gig, have your desk. I had the really good American dream. And after leaving a weekend like this, I didn't know that there could be bigger dreams than this. I didn't know you couldn't, Deneen said, I didn't know that you didn't have to have a job. I started realizing that the American dream in just my eyes started becoming the average dream. And it's okay if you want to live an average life, but after leaving a weekend like this, I just couldn't focus on having an average life anymore. My dreams had just gotten way too big. So, I got started in the business, and I was in college still, but I really kind of put my foot to the pedal when I transitioned into the corporate arena. Now, you guys have been hearing a little bit this weekend, a lot of statistics are out. A lot of college students are not getting the positions that they want coming directly out of school. It's a normal thing. It's just a competitive market. But I was one of those few that did get a really nice corporate position 1 week after graduating. Took off my cap and gown, went into the corporate office, and I was like, I've made it big time. Wham. There we go. All right. And it was cool for the first month. I still had a business. I had a 310 business at the time. I was excited about working. I was excited about the business, both things. But I started realizing there was a cycle to this whole working thing. I didn't have as much. I know people remember. Y'all remember the 3-month vacation, summer vacation? Y'all remember that when y'all had school? Yeah, that goes away. And that was a really big transition for me. Because it went from a 3-month vacation to 3 weeks that I had to plan doctor's appointments with. Like what? Okay. So it was a little bit different. I was in a different cycle, 5 days a week, going into the office, 8 to 5, 7 to 3, whatever your 8 hours are, sometimes 10 hours. I was around the same people, and it wasn't that the people were mean or that they just were horrible people. They just were negative because they didn't understand the whole positive mental attitude thing that we all have started learning about. You know, they were complaining about Mondays and excited about Fridays, and then they were complaining about Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then excited about Thursdays and Fridays, and I just couldn't deal. I was like, there has got to be more than the mundane cycle of this 9 to 5 thing. And that's when I realized, hey girl, you actually are sitting on an opportunity that gives you access to something else. And that's when I started moving forward. You know, I knew there was more. And because of that, I had to get out of my comfort zone. And Manny was a wonderful example because he was coaching and mentoring me, and he is the king of getting out his comfort zones, because he's on the stage with you guys tonight, and he's going to look real suave and nice doing it, but it's totally out of his comfort zone to speak up here with you guys. I like the mic. Yeah, you can laugh. It's fine. I understand. I know. But we had to get out of our comfort zones. Getting out of my comfort zone was, walking in the grocery store and shaking somebody's hand. Karen was talking about her first contact up here last night. She went in the toothbrush aisle. Yeah, I went in the yogurt aisle. And I walked up to this girl, and she was just staring at the yogurts, and I just was staring with her, and I was like, there's a lot of options, huh? And I was like, there's some crunchy ones over there. Some ones with M&Ms. I don't know how healthy that one is. And she just said, yeah. Weirdo. All right. That was the first time I tried to contact someone. I was like, this sucks. I went to the car. I was like, Manny, no. You didn't tell me it was going to be like that. But it was out of my comfort zone. And I had to get uncomfortable. I got frustrated at a point. But I got frustrated and had to make a decision. A decision not to give up, a decision to do the work even when I was tired. Because if you work a 9 to 5, we understand you're creating a living 9 to 5. But we understand after 5, you probably don't want to go out there and do much work. But it is creating that lifestyle, and I had to make that decision to go out there and do the work even when I was tired. A decision to block out all the things that were negative, even if it was coming from people or things. We had to make the decision to protect our dream. Our dream was precious, and especially after leaving a weekend like this and developing even bigger dreams, those dreams were really fragile too. Because you're surrounded by negativity outside of those doors, and it's really easy for them to pop and burst your bubble. We had to protect what we had then created. I remember Manny asking me, hey Candace, this is right in the beginning when I first got started, but he's like, what would you do with time and money? I know everybody's mentor, coach, somebody's asked that type of question before. And I was like, I don't know, I would travel. He was like, where? I was like, I don't know, a plane, whatever. Anything to get me out of the state of Virginia, because I've been in Richmond my whole life. And he was like, okay, well, tell me a little bit about that time and money thing. I was like, well, I would travel, but for real, Manny, I am very passionate about my chemistry career. So I would just bank all the money and keep going to work. And how many times have we heard somebody sitting across from us say that before? Yeah, a bunch. You want to know why? It's the safe response. All right? We talked a lot about the lottery this weekend. If the Mega Million, I don't even know how much it is. If the Mega Million was $315 million pot, that would be the topic of conversation at work, wouldn't it? Absolutely. And what is the topic of conversation there? Hey, man, you put your ticket in? Oh, yeah, they doing a drawing tonight. I'm excited. What would you do if you won the Mega Million? Man, I wouldn't see y'all again. I'd be out. I'd be on the USSR, 1350, whatever, million, Mega Million. You wouldn't be here. But we talk about what we would do if we win the lottery, because that's a fantasy world. But when you talk about what would you actually do with time and money that creates a dream, then it becomes a responsibility. Once you say your dreams out loud, you're responsible for making them happen. And I appreciate my mentors. I appreciate my husband for challenging me to dream. A lot of people are asking us about the transition now because we're married, and that's awesome. I love the married life. But they keep asking what's different, and, we're getting used to each other. There are a bunch of changes, absolutely. But, what we have and what we're starting to create, it's not hard to imagine that we have it, because we made a decision a long time ago to win. And we made that decision. We actually expect the results to come true. We just had to have patience, because that's a virtue, and we had to put action towards it, because that's key. We're really happy and we're grateful for what we have, but we definitely are not done yet. It's not impossible. It's not impossible to reach for big dreams. You were created to think up big dreams. You were created to have big dreams. Don't do yourself the displeasure of thinking small or dreaming small. You're much more worth than a pea-sized dream. I dare you to dream big. Because it's not impossible. It's not a crazy dream. It's a reality that you can create. And some of the reality for us is, moving into our new home. We have lived in our parents' houses ever since I've known him. So he's lived there for a while. And I came out of college, and coming out of college, I thought I was going to move into this really nice, just whatever apartments they have in Richmond, with the industrial ceilings. I just thought, I don't know what those are called. Studio apartment. There we go. I thought I was going to move into a nice studio apartment, but couldn't afford it because I had $60,000 in student loan debt. And even though I got the nice corporate gig, I was still getting paid entry level. So Candace moved back in with her mother with her teddy bears. So I was there. Manny was living on his mom's couch in their apartment. What's so cool, we got our new home. And I remember the first time that Manny even asked me, what kind of home would I want? I was like, oh, something comfy, something, maybe 2-bedroom, small kitchen because I don't cook, living room, maybe an office later down the road. I don't know, something really comfortable. And then he started asking me questions like, okay, well, would you want a fireplace? I was like, absolutely. Comfy, cozy, Netflix, chill, wintertime. Absolutely. He asked me about, would you want an in-ground pool? I was like, duh, I'm Nemo. And I say that because if you've ever seen me swim before, I got the little fin. So, all right. But he started giving me different scenarios of a dream. Look at you laugh. Yes.
There we go. Come on. There we go.
There we go. Oh, that's why I married him. So he started giving me different scenarios of a dream. And all of a sudden I went from wanting this cozy townhome to wanting this big old mansion. And I was like, where'd those dreams come from? He helped me unlock them out of the box that was in the back of my head that I had tucked away because I didn't know that I was worthy of having them. I hope your dreams get unlocked this weekend. Because now we live in a 4-bedroom home, and the couch he used to sleep on in his mother's living room, that whole home, that whole apartment is the size of our living room now. We live in a 4-bedroom home, master bathroom, master bedroom with the king-size bed. This is crazy because he comes from a couch and I come from a full-size bed, so stretch, own it. We are excited. Walk-in closet that he can't touch. All my stuff is in it. He got the office closet. Office that he has all his memorabilia in, which is so cool. A girl's room that is so fuzzy and lit up and it's pink, black, and floral, and you can't touch that room either. It's a dream and we're grateful. But we're not satisfied, and we understand that everything that we do have as well, we use it as a tool to continue to move forward. We're not dwelling on what we have right now. We're very grateful for it, though. And after we came back, you mentioned we went to Cancun, and then, we went to the AIRS conference. We went to Jacksonville, Florida, but me and him were having a conversation on the plane. He was like, oh, yeah, by the way, yesterday I booked about $8,500 worth of plane tickets for the next 2 to 3 months of travel. Excuse me, sir. How many days are we leaving? When are these dates scheduled? I still work a job. I don't think I have enough vacation time. And he looked at me and he was like, I know you don't. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, in the month of October, you got a lot going on. We're going to Australia in October. And after that, I come back and I go on a beach leadership with some of the winners ladies, 12-100s and above. After that, we go to Houston, Texas. Oh, yeah. But I was like, that's the month of October? And I started doing the calculations and said, Manny, at the end of October, I'll have negative 23 hours of vacation time left. I'm going to get fired. What are we going to do? He was like, you're going to get free. September 29th, 2017. All that my husband has worked for to make sure his wife got free, I'll be walking out those doors for the last time. I appreciate you. I love you. I thank you for being patient, for believing in me, and staying steadfast to give me this gift. Because freedom isn't just going to be Netflix and chilling for us. We're going out there and we're building a kingdom.
Amen. Good job.
Thank you, babe.
There we go. Hold on, stay up here really quick.
Okay.
All right. I just need you for this one story.
A prop. Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go. And I laughed at all your jokes while I was over there, so
because
you should be
amazing.
happy. There you go. But she told you all the great stuff, all the awesome stuff about our house. And that's great, but I'm up here to kind of rain on your parade, if you will. All right, I remember the first house. When we were house searching, house shopping, the first house we went to look at. It's actually around the corner from the house we have now. It's, 1,000 square feet larger than the house we live in now. And I remember looking online, I'm like, man, this is huge. I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, they got a lot of cool things in the house, but it only had like 3 or 4 pictures online. So I was like, man, something must be up with this. So I had 3 or 4 pictures. You guys know what that means. So we show up to the house, and it looked great online. All right, so we pull up, and I'm like, maybe the inside looks a lot better.
It looked horrible.
All right, so we're walking around, and it has this, the people that were living in the house before us, they still lived there. And it had this little stitch when you walked in there.
Dog urine.
Yeah, that's what it was. And it smelled like dog poop.
Which was behind the television that hadn't been cleaned up.
Yeah. So we were wondering, I'm like, what is going on? So we're walking upstairs now, and we're looking in the window, and the real estate agent that was, helping us out with the house, she looks, and I like how you say this. What does she say?
We're walking past the windowsill, and she stops in like dead of her tracks, and she looks to the side. She said, "Oh no." And I was like, "Oh no, what?" She's like, "Is that, it's just gnats. They're dead gnats." So what'd you think it was? Thought we had a rat.
She's like, "I thought they were rat droppings."
I was like, "And you were okay with the, did you look
she
at
said,
this house before
thank
we walked
God.
in?" Yeah, thank God they weren't rat droppings. Lady, did you know we were coming? Did you really want to sell this house? Was this really your goal?
So, thanks, babe.
You got me upset all over again. Glad we got her home.
Give her a hand. But, when we left that house, I'm like, yeah, we might need to pay a little bit more for rent. Might need to upgrade a little bit. But anyways, when I left that house, it got me thinking of something else I had done in the past. All right, because the house wasn't what I expected. All right, and one of the things I thought about, you got to remember this. Everything that you see on the outside may not be what's actually on the inside. All right, meaning the picture that you're portrayed may not always be a real picture, may not always be reality. Because I got to thinking about a time that, I did like this big podcast for some random company, and they asked me, could I talk on their podcast? I said, sure. And I walked in, and we start filming for this podcast. By the way, I got sent a script for this podcast 2 weeks before. It's supposed to be a live podcast, but I had to make up all my answers before I got there. All right, and I'm pretty sure a lot of different podcasts and different media things, this is how it works. But when we get there, we're doing this quote-unquote live podcast. And, we're shooting this 30-minute podcast for 3.5 hours. And as I'm reading off the teleprompter, of the answers that I gave and all that good stuff, then they go into a point where, they say, now we're going to get to the live callers. All right, so they have these fake people call in. It really wasn't fake people. They told us exactly what the 3 callers were going to say. And then they put on the teleprompter what they wanted me to say. So I got 30 minutes to actually practice that. And then I read it off the screen, even though it was supposed to be live and we were supposed to have these live callers call in. I'm like, this is not live at all. And throughout going through that podcast, one of the things that I learned, I'm like, man, like I said earlier, what you see on the outside or what you see in reality may not always be reality. It may not always be the truth. Because I then start thinking about life. Because our lives are the same. All right, now we have, there's a lot of millennials in here. Let me hear if you're a millennial. Let me hear you. And we kind of live in this social media era. And what happens is most people in our era, they try to paint a picture, try to paint a snapshot of what they want their life to look like, or what they want you to think their life actually looks like, versus how their life really is. Because I start looking at people, as I've gotten older, I've started to look at people that I went to college with and all this other stuff, and I'm seeing all the things they're doing. Going on different vacations, buying houses. I'm seeing people, 26, 27, I'm 22, 23 at the time, and, they're buying houses and doing all these other things. And I'm like, man, that's really cool what these people are doing. You know, I'm over here laying on my mom's couch, all right, building a business, and these people are out there, quote unquote, living the dream. By the way, I start thinking about it to myself. I'm like, man, it's kind of weird. How do they go on all these vacations? It's just making it look like they're going on a lot of vacations. All right, because the average American works 50 out of 52 weeks in a year, 98%. But I'm looking at all these things these people are doing, and I start thinking, actually, I had a young lady on my team, and she came up to me one day, and she was kind of questioning where she was in business, and, you know, she sees all of her friends and, you know, what her friends are doing, and, you know, what Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, all that is a highlight reel of people, what people want your life to look like. It's just like, you know, when you're watching someone's, everybody's seen like mixtapes of people, or not mixtapes, but like when you're sending a tape out to college or something like that for sports, and you got your highlights on there. It's obviously all the best shots that you took when it comes to basketball or football, all your best hits. It doesn't show the missed shots. It doesn't show the air balls. All it's showing is a highlight reel. So I'm sitting down with this young lady, and I'm telling her, I'm like, look, you have to understand that the lives that most people portray isn't the life they're always living. All right, just a few months ago, I actually contacted someone on Facebook, somebody I used to go to high school with, and, you know, it looked like she had this amazing marriage, amazing life. She was with her, you know, her boyfriend. You know, I knew them in high school, and they were together, and, you know, they just got their careers and got a new house and all that good stuff. And, you know, when I messaged her on Facebook, she said, you know, Wade and I were getting a divorce. And she's like, one of the things she says is, we just bought our house, and we're still paying our furniture off. And at that time, I didn't know about houses or anything. I didn't even know that people, you know, finance furniture. I didn't know how it worked. All right, by the way, we didn't finance any of our furniture. Our whole house got furnished, all 4 bedrooms, the outside, the inside, you know, the man cave, pool table, all that good stuff. And all that we paid in cash. But one of the things that I've always wanted to create, because when I looked at their life, most people would have thought, man, they have it all together. They have a great marriage. All right, they have an awesome life. And it could have been true, but one of the things I've always wanted to create is an authentic life. A real life. Because most people, thank you, most people, that was good stuff, right? All right, I made that up myself. But most people take the easy way out. 98% of America, in my opinion, takes the easy way out. You know who didn't take the easy way out? Brian and Karen McGrath, Jake and Jackie Baker. You guys saw Randall Ward up here earlier? All right, 6 legs and 130 people here this weekend. All right, y'all saw a Frank Basosa and a Jonathan Benjamin up here, over 100 people at this function this weekend. What they didn't do is they didn't take the easy way out. You know, what the easy way out is it's, to me, it's really not an easy way out. Because you got to think about this. You're also suffering the consequences later for taking the easy way out. You'll pay in the future for you taking the easy way out today. You know, I go back to my math class, okay? You guys, here I got in business. I was cheating in my math class. And back then, that was the easy way out. It was a lot easier for me to get text messages of the answers. I'm sorry, you know, Dr. Wilson, she's actually my former principal. She's in here tonight. I'm sorry. All right. I actually passed. I'm out of school now, so she can't take my diploma back or anything. But, you know, what was really crazy is it was a lot easier for me to be able to take the answers to the math test back in the day, or get, you know, the guy that sponsored me, Jimmy, to text me the answers to the math class in algebra when I was in 9th grade. But you want to know what I did? Because I cheated in 9th grade, I had to pay for it in the future. Why? Because a year later, guess what? You know, that information started transferring over to the next year. So what if I didn't have that guy in the class to help me cheat? So it made it harder for me to pass school because I cheated early in the 9th grade. It's the same thing with your job right now. Yeah, right now it's easy to go to work 9 to 5 every day. I don't know how, but to you, because you're in your comfort zone, it's easy to go to work 9 to 5 every day. All right, it's easy to trade time for money because you know that that income's going to come in. It's a guarantee. But it's also a guarantee if you're in here this weekend, if you're born in the 80s, it's also a guarantee that you're going to work to the age of 72. This is USA Today's stats, that you're going to work to the age of 72 if you don't have $2 million in the bank. All right, it's also a fact that if you're born in the 90s and you're a millennial, that if you don't have $2.5 to $3 million in the bank by age 72, this is what USA Today says, that you won't be able to retire by the age of 72. So right now, you have taken the easy route, a lot of you guys. But you're in here this weekend because you want to change your life. The path to victory is not always the path of pleasure. By the way, the path to victory is never the path to pleasure, in my opinion. In any competitive field, what you have to do to succeed isn't always going to be fun. But guys, write this down. If it was fun, everyone would do it. But I can promise you one thing. It's worth it. It was worth me sleeping on my mom's couch. By the way, I built a 6-figure income in my Amway business sleeping on my mom's couch. All right, what's cool is I looked at all those people and what they were doing, and now I'm able to spend every day, come September 29th, with my wife. All right, one of my goals is always personally to see my wife and soon-to-be kids down the road, 4 or 5 years down the road. Brian, I know Brian's listening back there. All right, more than I saw my boss, because statistically speaking, most of America, they see their boss and their co-workers more than they see their family. That's why family time is always so valuable, because most people never get it. Think about that. All right, becoming wealthy is hard, but staying broke is also hard. Choose your heart. Now let me ask you guys this. Is it worth it to take the hard way? The hard way to us is a 2 to 5 year plan versus a 40 to 50 year plan. All right, you decide your destiny. You decide your legacy. You guys need to go out there, get your structure right, and get free. Thank you guys. God bless.
The average monthly gross income for active IBOs was $207 in the U.S. and $186 in Canada. Approximately 48% of IBOs in the U.S. and 52% of IBOs in Canada were active. IBOs were considered active in months in 2016 when they attempted to make a retail sale, or presented the Amway IBO compensation plan, or received bonus money, or attended